Welcome to the Fascinating Show. Today we are going to talk about 20 most interesting facts about the world.
1. Africa and Asia are home to nearly 90% of the world's rural population. Not everyone lives in a booming city or sprawling suburb. Many people still make their homes outside of bustling locations, especially in India, which has the largest number of people living in rural areas. Approximately 893 million people live outside of the city, according to Reuters. China also has an impressively large rural population, with 578 million living outside of major centers. 2. The most expensive coin in the world was sold for more than $7 million. The 1933 double eagle was a $20 US coin made of gold that never went into circulation. A few of the coins were made, but most were destroyed, save for 9 that were presumed stolen by US mint workers. After years circulating the globe and falling into the hands of a few notable owners, including the King of Egypt, one of the coins was auctioned off at Sotheby's in 2002 for a stunning $7,590,020. That made it the most expensive coin ever sold at auction. 3. The world's largest man-made oyster reef was created in Maryland. Due to overfishing and disease, the oyster population in Maryland's Chesapeake Bay was seriously suffering. But thanks to dedicated work by scientists at the Horn Point Laboratory, the Army Corps, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and the Nature Conservancy, the state is now the location of the world's largest man-made oyster reef. Home to more than 1 billion oysters, the area is a no-fishing zone, which will hopefully give the population a chance to recover. 4. A record-breaking 92 countries competed in the 2018 Winter Olympics. Every 4 years, the Olympic Games bring together the most competitive athletes from around the world. And when the Pyeongchang Winter Games were held in 2018, 2,952 athletes were expected to show up from a total of 92 countries. That beat the previous record of 2,800 athletes from 88 countries who participated in the Winter Games in 2014. 5. South Sudan is the youngest country in the world. Some countries are hundreds of years old, while others can trace their nation's history back for thousands of years. But South Sudan in North Africa just gained its independence from Sudan in 2011, which currently makes it the youngest country in the world. 6. More than 52% of the world's population is under 30 years old. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization UNESCO, as of 2012, 50.5% of the world's population were people under the age of 30. Around 89.7% of those young people live in emerging and developing economies like the Middle East and Africa. 7. People 60 years and older make up 12.3% of the global population. Although the majority of the human population is currently under 30 years old, there are still plenty of older folks among us. In fact, 12.3% of people on Earth are 60 years old and older. That number is expected to reach 22% by 2050. 8. There are more than 24 time zones around the world. If the Earth's time zones were each 1 hour apart, then we would have 24 time zones, which sounds pretty straightforward. However, the situation is a little more complicated than that. Since many time zones only differ by 30 or 45 minutes, they don't fit into a neat and tidy 24-hour span, which means that there are more than 24, though it's hard to say exactly how many. 9. Nearly half of the world's population watched both the 2010 and 2014 FIFA World Cup games. Soccer, or football, depending on who you ask, is the most popular sport around the world. That's why when the FIFA World Cup games took place in both 2010 and 2014, nearly half of the world's population, around 3.2 billion people, tuned in to see who would win. 10. It's estimated that Sweden has more islands than any other country. With 221,800 islands, Sweden is thought to have more islands than any other country in the world. Only about 1,000 of them are inhabited. 11. There are 43 countries that still have a royal family. The British royal family may be the most famous royal family on the planet, but there are still plenty of other nobles out there. In total, there are 28 royal families who rule over a total of 43 countries around the world, including Japan, Spain, Swaziland, Bhutan, Thailand, Monaco, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Liechtenstein. 12. California is home to the artichoke capital of the world. Castroville is a rural town in California that grows a lot of artichokes and other vegetable crops, thanks to the fact that the area enjoys ideal weather year-round. Because of this, it grows 99.9% of all commercially grown artichokes and has even been nicknamed the artichoke capital of the world. 13. All giant pandas in zoos around the world are on loan from China. The panda at your local zoo may look like it's at home in its cozy sanctuary. But unless you live in China, the pandas that you're seeing are just visiting. That's because every one of the gentle giants in zoos around the world are on loan from China. Yes, they're technically the property of the government of China, according to Vox. 14. The most typical human fits this description. According to a study developed for National Geographic in 2011, the world's most typical person is right-handed, makes less than $12,000 per year, has a mobile phone, and doesn't have a bank account. 15. Canada has 9% of the world's forests. Our neighbors to the north boast 396.9 million hectares of forests, or 9% of all of the forest area in the entire world, according to Natural Resources Canada. 16. The red-billed quelea is the most common bird on Earth. There may not be any red-billed queleas in your neighborhood, but that's not because there aren't an abundance of them. These birds, which live in sub-Saharan Africa, are considered agricultural pests because their massive flocks can obliterate entire crops. Although their numbers fluctuate, there are around 1 to 10 billion queleas, which leads scientists to believe that there are more of them than any other bird on Earth, according to Autumn. 17. There's a website that tracks the world's population in real time. As of 2019, the overall human population is estimated to be more than 7.7 billion people. And if you want to watch that increase in real time, you can tune into the World Population Clock, which shows the upticks and downticks as babies are born and other people die. You can also see the current populations of different countries, including China 1,420,000,000 and up, India 1,368,000,000 and up, and the US 329,000,000 and up. 18. More people speak Mandarin Chinese than any other language. With around 950 million native speakers and an additional 200 million people speaking Mandarin Chinese as a second language, it's the most popular language in the world. 19. Around 1 in every 200 men are direct descendants of Genghis Khan. During his lifetime between 1162 and 1227, Genghis Khan fathered countless children. And while we may never know exactly how many offspring the leader of the Mongol Empire had, scientists now believe that around 1 in every 200 men, aka 16 million people, are a direct descendant of his, according to a 2003 historical genetics paper. 20. Copenhagen is the most bike-friendly city in the world. Many places around the world are trying to figure out how to rework their infrastructure to accommodate cyclists and hopefully, in turn, encourage residents to use the environmentally friendly mode of transportation. That's why Copenhagen has become such a role model. According to Wired, it's the most bike-friendly city in the world.